Hello and welcome to chapter 33 of a Traveling Knitter podcast. My name is Steph, your host, and I'm coming to you from Dayton, Ohio, the tail end of 2018. It's actually December 30th. So, all of a sudden I'm hot, but today I'm podcasting in my pajamas because I've actually been sick. So pardon the red nose and my voice and the cuts that are probably going to happen because I am all of it. Coughing, sneezing, hacking, sniffling. I hope I don't sniffle as much, but yeah. So I've got the phlegm everywhere. And that is actually why Vlogmas, all the days aren't out. Hopefully they are published by the time this is published. That's my goal, is to edit those tonight while I edit this, while I make my dinner. But I'll talk about that all at the end. So, okay, we're gonna kick it off with a completed quest. That is right. We are continuing this pattern of having finished objects. And I was this close to having 2 finished objects. This close to having 3. So without further ado, my finished objects, they are blocking. They are pretty wet. These are my vanilla socks that are super ridiculously long, and I knit these in the Sweet Sparrow Yarns Rudolph and Clarice. I love this colorway. It is a beautiful cream to a light dusty pink to a traditional pink. It's not quite hot pink, but a very traditional pink, and then a brown. And then the heels, toes, and cuffs are a Lil Lolo in, I believe it's the fawn colorway, which is just a beautiful, like a wheat variegated yellow with just slight speckles of a orangey red. So I knit these on my 9-inch circulars, and I did use double pointed needles for the toe. And for the cast on heel are twisted rib, and I still have maybe 5 grams or 4 grams left of the fawn. I wish I had done the cuffs just longer, but the reason why I didn't do it was I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get all of the pieces. Now, the reason why these socks are so freaking long, I wanted to use every bit of yarn. Now, I didn't weigh the skein when I got it, which I should have, because I'm pretty sure it was over 100 grams. I could weigh this now, but it's wet, so that's not gonna work. But yeah, so I was just knitting, and I had weighed it, and then I forget where I was, and I was kind of worried that I was gonna cross over the 50 gram mark, and I wanted them to be matching, which they are perfect pairs. And then once I did weigh what I had, I realized that I could have gone like 2 whole repeats longer, which honestly, do I really need to? These are extremely long. Now, I did a cut in heel, and so I always have issues with my socks being too long in the foot. So I did the drastic thing, and I cut these in like super, super close to the toe. They don't look bad here because I'm blocking them, but when I cut them, oh boy, they looked like they were for like kids' feet. I would say they're like this long. So I'm hoping these are gonna fit good because I really, really want to keep these, and I actually don't mind them being super long because they're gonna poke out over my boots, and I think that's gonna be really adorable. So yeah, I'm blocking them. These are probably one of the first pairs of socks that I've fully wet blocked, put on sock blockers, and I'm going to pick up my own hair from my carpet. That's always nice. My goal was to vacuum today, but now it's too late. But those are gonna dry. So I'm pretty excited. And what does that make? 5 episodes, 5 podcasts, 4 in a row where we have a completed object? Pretty good. And we will have some next podcast, but I don't think I'll have them to show you. So that transitions us into current quests. And the first one I'll show you is just the one that I'm furthest on. And that is this sock. So these are socks for my brother. Now these I had to measure weigh very carefully because I wasn't doing contrasting toes, heels, cuffs, and I wanted to get a full pair of socks for my brother. Now luckily for me, the men in my family have small feet. Small feet for men, I guess. They wear both my brothers wear a size 10.5, I believe, which, great for me. So I had them try one of the pairs on, and I actually had knit this one too far. So I had to unknit it, actually quite a bit. I would say I had to unknit it maybe 10 rows. So they are going to be the same, but essentially this is one, and then this, I'm on the gusset on this one. So they are, funny enough, perfect pairs as well, and I did not plan that. So that's awesome that I'm getting perfect pairs out of these guys. Well, almost perfect. These if you look at the heel, this is all blue. This has a bit of that, but that's okay. So yeah, pretty much perfect heels, or perfect socks there. And this is for my middle brother. And I did 64 stitches, a 2x2 rib that I did for 20 rows, and then I just knit until I felt like they would be long enough. So they're pretty long, but both of my brothers are relatively tall. My middle brother is tall. He's like 6'3", I think, something like that. Maybe 6'4", I don't remember. And then my littlest brother, he's not quite that tall, but he might be done growing, I don't know, but he's taller than me. So I figured they could do with longer socks. So my goal is to have these done by, honestly, I was hoping to finish these on New Year's. So yeah, I hope to get these done pretty soon. I have this much left over, and this is Regia Circus Color in color 03754. So there's the ball band. Now the other socks, I'm not nearly as far with them, but they also have a completed pair. So I guess technically I have 2 completed objects because I did finish 2 other socks. They are just not matching, but I'm not going to count it. So here's the other one. These turned out really cool too. I love that, and it's the exact same, 64 2x2 rib, 20 rows. I love that the dark ended up being right here for the heel. I was hoping that's what it would do, and I'm so glad it did. I only wish that the toe, the darker part, had been shifted up here, but you know what? This is fine. So I've got that, and then this is how far I am with the other pair. Yep, pretty far. So I'm still on the ribbing. I don't know yet if they're gonna be close to matching. If they don't, that's fine. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. But these are, I picked this color out because my littlest brother currently goes to OU, which is Ohio University, which is where I went, which is where my other brother went. And I thought, you know, these would look good. So that's why I went. Oh, and I didn't mention on the other one, but both of them are Eye of Partridge heels. Of the heel flap gusset style heels, these are my favorite. I think Eye of Partridge just looks so pretty. So that is what I have going there. Quite a lot more yarn left on this one because I'm not nearly as far. And this one is Opal in, what is that? Is this, there's like a fancy lady on the ball band. It says it's colorway 9542. Normally, I thought Opal normally has like a range. Maybe it's just called Style. Maybe that's what it is. This is Opal Style. I don't know. Those are the current quests that I'm on. Both of which, wow, that was a good shot of my very red nose. Just call me Rudolph. Both of those, my goal is to have them done, honestly, within a week. Yeah, so on the horizon, you will maybe notice I did not finish my mom's mittens. Honestly, I didn't even start them. But I'm kind of glad I didn't because I changed my mind on the colors I was going to do. So originally I was going to do gray and red for her, but I have since switched and I'm going to just do gray and white. My poodle, family dog, that passed this summer, he was gray. Well, technically he was black, but he turned gray like within a year of his life. We don't know why. He was a gray poodle. So I just thought, you know, it'd just be fitting. Yeah, white's gonna get dirty, but that's okay. I think this is what's gonna look the nicest and just match what our dog was. So if I didn't, I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. It's in this Big Book of Knitted Mittens by Jorid Lindvik. This is what the cover is. And the specific mittens I'm going to knit are the poodle mittens. So, I don't want to show. Like, there we go. I guess you're getting a lot of reflection, but I didn't want to show the pattern. So these are the mittens I'm gonna make, and I'll do white and then gray as the actual pattern. So that means I now have 2 skeins of red, which is fine because I wanted to do a red mitten, but I think I was gonna do white. So I just need to purchase some more yarn. The yarn I'm gonna knit this out of is Drops Flora, and this one is called Mix, and this one's Unicolor. The Mix is in 05, and then the Unicolor is in 02, basically a white and a gray. Oh, and it's 65% wool and 35% alpaca. They are 50 grams and it's about 230 yards or 210 meters. I think this is gonna be enough. I'll be honest, I'm not really sure, but hopefully. If not, this stuff is relatively, like, really inexpensive. I can just get more. Other than that, on the horizon, I've been doing a lot of gift knitting. So I'm ready to make something for myself. And I don't really call it selfish knitting because it's not selfish. This is my hobby. Like, I don't think there's anything selfish about knitting something for myself when I buy it for myself. So I just don't use the term selfish knitting. Or at least it doesn't feel natural to me to say selfish knitting because I don't think it's selfish. So with that segue, I am going to be working on my Make 9. So I figured what would be a great start to the new year is actually cast on one of my Make 9s. And I didn't want to start off with a sweater because I already have 3 sweaters on the needle, one of which I have decided is going to be frogged. You've never seen it, and that's because I started it sophomore year of college. That's right, 9 years ago. So I'm frogging it. Or 8 years ago. It's all a blur. Yeah, it's gonna be frogged. So I'm gonna have a ton of, I think, Kotlin. I'll deal with that. But I'm gonna start off with doing the newsprint cowl by Purl Soho. And the yarn I'm gonna use is actually the yarn that they recommend for this pattern. So I purchased last year, I went to Rhinebeck Sheep and Wool Fest in Rhinebeck, New York last year, fall 2017. And while I was there, we went to New York City, we went to Purl Soho, not the first time I've been there, but I purchased 3 skeins of this. I knew that that's what I wanted to knit, but I didn't bother to check how much yarn it needed. So I was just visually thinking it needed 2 of the main color, 1 of this. Nope, it only needs 1. So I have an extra one of this, and it's lovely. It's fingering, which is it's single ply, which is my favorite, so I'm sure I'll find use for it. But it is the Purl Soho Line Weight Heather. Will you be able to read it? So this is in the color Kiln Red. And this one is Wheat Flour. It's 100% merino wool, about 494 yards for the 100 grams, so almost 500 yards. So a light fingering. Pretty excited for that. I haven't made a cowl for myself in a good while, and I've been meaning to replace the alpaca cowl that got felted on accident, and I'm probably gonna literally remake that cowl. I have alpaca, so I'll just redo it, but I just thought this would be really nice. I could use with a cowl, and I'm pretty excited to start that. Now for Smaug's Trove, I thought I would just show you real quick 2 things that I'm kind of crafty related that I'm excited about. The first one being a bag that my best friend got me for Christmas. Isn't this adorable? It's just got a bunch of sheepies on it, and then there's a little blue sheepy. Super cute, and it's just a nice tote. And it does have a box bottom, which is awesome, and the handles are woven, and they seem pretty sturdy. So I plan to literally just take this with me to knit nights and stuff like that. But she got it from World Market, which is, like, my friends love going to World Market. I don't think I have a World Market near me, so I never go to World Market. Home Goods is my favorite store, but I should check out World Market and see if there is one near me. Honestly, probably the closest one's going to be either Cincinnati or Columbus, and that's not something I want to just, like, drive to. The second one is going to be part of my Make 9. So the last chapter, I talked about my knitting Make 9. And this time I'm going to talk about my sewing Make 9 because 2019 is going to be the year that I sew things for my body. This I'm not going to sew for my body. But on my Christmas list, I asked for a jelly roll. But not just any jelly roll. I asked for the Jill Howarth Neverland jelly roll. That's right. There's a whole line of Peter Pan fabric that matches the project bag that I purchased at Stitches Midwest this year. And I got it for Christmas. So I'm going to be making a quilt, my very first quilt, and probably the biggest sewing project. And I saw a tutorial on using jelly rolls to make quilts, and that's what I'm gonna follow. I'm pretty sure it was on Craftsy, so that's what this is gonna be. Super pumped. I don't know what I'm gonna make the back be. I don't know if I'm just gonna go with a like a normal bed sheet or something. Not sure. And I'm also slightly worried because this fabric was pretty expensive. When I was looking, it was around $50 for this jelly roll. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe I should buy a cheaper jelly roll and practice, because I don't want to mess this up, because I'm so excited for this quilt. But or I can just dive right in. We'll find out. Stay tuned for 2019. So that just brings us into the Make 9 challenge of sewing. So I did make 2, as I said, one for knitting, one for sewing, and I'm someone who loves lists. I love to-do lists. I like laid out challenges. I love plans. Yet I'm also a very spontaneous person, but I really, really like the structure of things. So Make 9 challenge is completely up my alley. So for the first thing, as I already mentioned, I'm going to make this into a quilt. Whether that's the first quilt or I have a practice quilt, we'll see, but my goal is to make that into a quilt. And then the second thing I want to make is a bodysuit. Now I haven't found a bodysuit pattern that I like. I want one that is long sleeves and kind of a scoop neck. So I'm on the search for it, but if anyone has suggestions, leave them below. But I am looking for a bodysuit sewing pattern, and I wanted to make it in a blush pink and a black. Those are my 2 colors, or my goals. Now for sewing things, I want to make some of the sewing patterns that I have been purchasing, because I have a ton. So for the first one, and this is not the order that I'm gonna make them, just the order I have them written down, is the Sew Liberated Stasia dress. So I do want to make the dress, and I was actually thinking of doing the long version, but I might do the shorter one first. Fabric costs, I'm not really sure how much stuff like this costs yet, but this is on my list. Then I also want to make this Cynthia Rowley. I haven't decided if I want to do the full dress or just the skirt for now. I really like Cynthia Rowley as a designer. I'm not sure why, but I am drawn to the things she has, and I actually have a couple sewing patterns that are designed by her. Speaking of which, this one. Oh, I guess I should say this is the 2215. And then I also have this Cynthia Rowley, which is the 1607, and I'm definitely gonna do version A. I think this cross piece looks really cool. That's the interesting part of this dress, so thought I would do that. This one seems a lot thinner than this. Well, I guess because there are a lot of pattern pieces to this one, but this one seems pretty thin, so makes me think there's maybe not a ton of pieces, but I don't know. Looking at this, it looks like there's a lot. Then I have this one, Simplicity 1425. This one, I want to just try to make the basic peplum, and my goal for this is to make some dress shirts. Technically, we're not supposed to wear tank tops, but I live in tank tops all year long, and I wear sweaters, cardigans, things over them purely, and the reason why I do that is because I like whenever fabric's touching near my armpit, it just makes me sweat. Like, I don't smell, I'm just sweating constantly. So like, because of this sweater, so this sweater is pretty close up to my arm, I am actually sweating. Just in case you wanted to know. So yeah, I think all of the styles are really nice, and I actually could see, honestly I could see myself making all of them, but I think it's between this one and this one right here, just because these other pieces, these have just more pieces, I think. from my limited sewing knowledge, they look like they have more pieces. So then I have this Butterick, which is the 6556. This is Gertie, and I would like to try to make this version. And then I have two last ones, the McCall M7503. Again, I would like to try to make that. They might be the same. It's hard to tell because her hair is covering. I think they are the same. I feel like this looks like she has some sort of cremolin underneath, which I'm all about that. One of my favorite dresses that I wear is from White House Black Market. I got on super clearance. I think it's at $200. I spent $50. But it is really heavy and has heavy in a good way, and has a cremolin skirt underneath. So then the last thing I want to make is this because it says it's easy. I like the high-low styles. So, and this is M6954. According to this, those are all different. They look the same to me. I have a feeling it's purely the length. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, so that's the last thing I would like to make. All right, so those are my make nines for sewing related things. Now, for a novel idea, which is the next segment, I'm not going to talk about a book because I'll be honest, I haven't been reading. I've been tired. But I just wanted to quickly talk about the Goodreads Reading Challenge. So my Goodreads Reading Challenge this year was to read 100 books, and I was on goal the entire year. I was even ahead at one point. But then November came, and I read 0 books. So by doing that, that put me behind, and then I got sick, so I didn't read or knit, and now I need to read 5 books by tomorrow. So I can't do that. I could if I chose to read some comics or some manga. I haven't ruled it out yet because I haven't read any manga or comics this year, so slight cop-out, but So I think for next year, I'm actually going to do the exact same goal. I'm going to make my goal 100 books to read, and I encourage you to make a goal. Now, obviously, or not obviously, but 100 books might seem ridiculously crazy to you, and that's completely fine. Everyone is their own reader, but I highly encourage you to just make a challenge. Set it to 12 books, 1 book a month. That's doable. And I count audiobooks. Audiobooks, you're reading. Just because you're listening doesn't mean you're not consuming the words. I count that as reading. So try to do that, or even 6 books, 1 every 2 months. And with that, set a goal to read before you go to bed. So many people tell me, oh, I don't know how you find the time to read. How do you not find the time to read? Just put your phone down. Put the phone down. Turn the TV off. I don't watch a ton of TV, and I've been working on not messing with my phone as often. The new iPhone, and I think Android has been doing it, but it now tells you how much time you spend on your phone, and that has really, oh, wow, that's a lot of time that I spent on social media. Now, sometimes it's skewed because I have a light day at work and I'm watching podcasts all day, but while I'm working, so then it's like I'm using my phone for 7 hours today, but that's fine. But you'd be amazed. I think you'd be amazed if you just put your phone down and instead just read for 20 minutes. You know, if your bedtime is 9:30, which is my bedtime, and you just read for 30 minutes or even 15 minutes, every day or 3-4 times a day, you'll make it through a book. So I keep like looking for my phone, and then it's right there. It's what I'm recording off of, because yes, I still don't have my camera fixed. That's my January goal, is to bring it to a camera shop to get it fixed. But on Goodreads, if you have the app or you use the website, there is a Goodreads challenge that you can make. You'll be able to make that January 1st, and I highly recommend you make one. And then if you like to be organized, make a TBR list. That's a to be read list, for in case you didn't know. So I would do that. If you ever need book recommendations, a novel idea, that is what this category is for. But Goodreads also does a ton of lists, so you could search for new releases. If you would like to get Goodreads' newsletter, that's a really nice one, because it's tailored to what kind of books you like to read, so they'll include articles on some of your preferred genres. But yeah, that's my category or topic for a novel idea. Rather than talking about an actual book, let's talk about Goodreads goals. So make one. I'm making one. I'm setting it at 100 again. Okay, so this last segment, if you don't care to watch, that's fine. Goodbye. Have a lovely end of the year, and I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, solstice, whatever you do or don't celebrate. I hope it was fabulous, and I will see you in the new year. Bye. If you are still here, thank you so much, and it's not going to be a long one. Vlogmas. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's been sporadic with the uploading. I underestimate how busy my life can get, and it's just a matter of running around. So I kind of edit them in chunks and then upload them, and hopefully that was okay. And then with my phone breaking, so I wasn't uploading on Instagram because I didn't have Instagram on my old phone. So then I got my new phone literally the day I left for Chicago. So yeah, that was unforeseen. That was not planned. So it got to deal with it. So sorry about the sporadicness and that I didn't upload every day, but I feel pretty good about it because I did do some sort of vlogging every day. Now, watching other people's vlogs, they introduce themselves every day and say what day it is, and I did not do that. I pretty much just recorded random bits of my day, and I thought that worked fine. So I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, fingers crossed, I'm gonna have those uploaded before this guy gets uploaded, but probably all on the same 24-hour span. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, since it's the start, or we are pretty much coming to the new year, I thought I would talk about resolutions. I don't like resolutions. I guess I just don't like the word. I like goals and goal setting. And one thing that I'm a big fan of is 30-day challenges. So I thought I would do a weird 30-day challenge thing. Let me bring it over to you. I wrote 12 30-day challenges, and they are pretty much all revolving around fitness and health. So I classify working out and eating kind of in the same category, so that's pretty much what I made. So the red is the challenge, and the yellow is the prize or caveat. So for example, I will only pull one, and I haven't picked mine for this for January yet. I'm actually going to do that tomorrow as part of my last day of 2018. So if I pick one, I'll read it. So here's one challenge. Push-up challenge. So I wrote push-up challenge. So for 30 days, every day, I would be doing a push-up challenge. Now, you can find these all over the internet. There's push-up, sit-up, plank, squats, then generic ab workout, things like that. So it's a challenge every day for 30 days. You increase the amount that you do. Now, I am not good at push-ups. I've never been good at push-ups, to be honest. I would say my senior year, I was probably the best at it, senior of high school, but it's been downhill ever since. So I would be starting pretty low with push-ups, and I don't know if I would increase every day or if I would increase it every other day, but what I would do is make a chart, because I love charts. I should have been a teacher, but I would make a chart for myself and then write out all of the amounts and then stick to it. So that would be my challenge, and then either the caveat or prize is a new board game. So in 2019, my goal is to cut my spending because I'm paying off my student loans. Student loans are being paid off this year. Well, 2019. So I'm on track to pay them off in December, but I want to pay them off earlier. So I'm working on not spending money when I don't need to. So for this, if I did follow through with my push-up challenge every single day, did my push-ups for 30 days, I would buy myself a new board game. So that is my idea for the 30 challenges. And I just happened to pick Gryffindor colors. That was not intentional, and this, being Slytherin colors, was also not intentional. I got a big basket of like food and stuff for Christmas, so I just reused it. Some of the other things that I put in there were no alcohol for 30 days and go vegetarian for 30 days, a plank challenge, a jumping jack challenge, so things like that. And then some of the prizes or caveats, I did one cheat day a week, or weekends are exempted. And then for some of the prizes, like a board game, a new makeup palette, because I love makeup palettes so much. And one of the big prizes is a sweater quantities worth of yarn. So hopefully that doesn't come in January, because I honestly can't really afford that already. And then I do have one caveat on top of it, and that is if I just don't want to do that challenge this month, I can redraw. So for example, the no alcohol challenge for 30 days, I don't want to do that in February. My birthday is February. My good coworker's birthday is in February. We had planned to do a co-birthday thing, and last time it was, I've never felt more hungover in my life. I thought I was gonna die. So I know I'm gonna want to drink alcohol for my birthday, so if I draw that on January 31st, I'm redrawing. So, and then like this month, there's the Go Vegetarian. I have 1.5 pounds of beef in my fridge, and I have leftover ham, and I have something else that's meat, and I don't want it to go bad. I don't want to waste it. So I'm not gonna, hopefully I don't get the meatless month for this month. But yeah, so that's almost it. The last thing I wanted to talk about again was my agenda. So I love agendas. Way back when I did the Know Your Needle Worker tag thing, I talked about how I love agendas. And I think I've even talked about this agenda already. But this is my 2019 agenda from Agendio. It is massive because it is a 1-a-day agenda plus a week. So what I did today was sit down and meal plan. Now, I don't meal plan like make all of the meal on one day and then eat it the rest of the week. I plan out what meals I'm going to make, because that's my problem. If I don't plan it out, I end up just not eating. I don't eat out, which is pretty good, but then I end up just like nibbling on some cheese and some bread and then being done. So I'm going to kind of every week try and meal plan what I'm going to be making. Now, it's easy for me because I don't have a family to make, so I don't need to make a meal every day. Definitely not. Food's going to go bad and go to waste. So today, before I go to bed, which is now 7 o'clock, so I need to wrap this up, but I'm going to make potato soup, which I made 3 weeks ago, and it was fabulous. And then for the rest of this week, I'm making like a mac and cheese that has butternut squash, butternut squash soup. I love butternut squash. Cabbage beef bowls, which Jacqueline from the Brooklyn Knit Folk, she uses Skinny Taste, which is actually where the soup is from, and I saw cabbage beef bowls on there. I actually don't like eating cabbage, but Blue Apron has introduced me to just cutting up the cabbage and then mixing it in with whatever I'm making, so that's what I'm gonna do. And then Sunday, I'm gonna make cilantro jalapeno latkes, which is like potato pancakes. So I bought hash browns. I'm gonna just try it. I don't like jalapenos, so jalapeno's not going in it. Pretty much I'm just gonna try to make latkes from the hash browns, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, those are my meals that I plan to make. And so let me show you what a day looks like, and I haven't filled it out yet, but this is January 1st. I have it set up to go by a time frame. Now my days are normally longer than this, but you can't fit all the hours. So then I have a spot for working out. So my plan is to write like my workout plans and then check them off when I do them, what meals I eat. So this is what I actually eat, because I want to track what I'm eating. I've tried to do it electronically and I just don't keep up with it. So I'm going to try this way. Then I have budget. I am just going to keep track of how much money I have and how much I spend every day. And I think that's going to help me with being able to prioritize and paying off those student loans. And then I have a large to-do list section, which I'm pretty excited about because normally I keep my to-do list separate, but I'm hoping that this is going to kind of just keep me from having to carry around so much stuff. And then down at the bottom, I have a section for a traveling knitter because I do want to plan out my podcast days, my Instagram days, and things like that. And then what is also nice, so like I've got this inspiration section. This is where I I'm not sure if I'm going to put stickers or draw or just an area just in case I need to do something. And let's see. I did want to kind of show, oh yeah. So my littlest brother, his birthday is on the 7th. So I actually had it filled out to already do that for me. So I thought that was nice, but yeah, that's why this is a behemoth of an agenda. I'm pretty excited to try it out though. I'm moving away from my plum paper design, which I've loved, and I've used 3 years now, 2 years or 3 years. And before that I used the Lily Pulitzer. So we'll see how this one goes. All right, guys, that's been enough chatting. I think, done with the knitting content at like the 25 mark, and we're now in 45 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed, and like I said, I hope you had a great holiday season. I hope 2019 is a good year for you, and yeah, I hope I didn't sniffle that much. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.